Hello, welcome to Bob's Dungeon. My name's Bob, I'll be your host. Vampires are a very long-lived creature, and they've been around for centuries. And so it just makes sense that the Vampire the Masquerade book that takes place in modern day with vampires and stuff isn't the only type of story you can tell with vampires. You can tell stories, vampires, all the way back through the ages. As long as there was man, there was pretty much vampires. So today we're going to look at a version of the vampire game that allows you to play vampires in the Dark Ages. So we're looking at Dark Ages Vampire. This book has 315 pages and a copyright of 2002. This book was published by White Wolf Games, and all of the artwork in this book is in black and white. It is pretty decent, so let's go ahead and look at that artwork. All of the artwork in this book is in black and white, and it's not too bad. Each chapter begins with a full-page picture, with all of the artwork throughout giving you a good feel for the tone and mood of this game. And I couldn't help myself. I had to include two creatures from the bestiary in this book. I mean, look at this adorable puppy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? To play this game, what you're going to need is, of course, a copy of this core rulebook and as many 10-sided dice as you can get your hands on. Character creation in this game is standard par the White Wolf rules. And we'll start with the attributes. There are three categories of attributes in this game. They are physical, mental, and social. And each of these are broken up into three smaller attributes, giving you a grand total of 9 attributes. The attributes are strength, dexterity, stamina, charisma, manipulation, appearance, perception, intelligence, and wits. And each of these attributes will start with 1 dot in them. And you can raise them all the way up to 5 dots. And the way this works is you pick a priority category, either your physical, your mental, or your social. And whatever your primary is, you get 7 more dots to split up amongst the attributes under it. Your next most important will get 5 dots, and your least most important will get 3 dots. Now, what the dots represent is when you make a roll with those attributes, that's how many 10-sided dice you'll roll when using that attribute. After you get your attributes, you'll figure out your abilities. And there are 3 categories of abilities: talents, skills, and knowledges. And each of these have different abilities under them. And none of them have any dots, and they can range from 0 to 5 dots. They don't start with any free dots. But you pick a priority category, like in your attributes, either your talents, your skills, or your knowledges, and your first most important will get 13 dots to split up amongst the attributes. Your next most important will get 9, and your least most important will get 5. After that, you'll probably want to pick a clan. And the way this works in this game is the clans are broken up into 2 categories. You have your high clans and your low clans. And the high clans in this game are the Bruja, the Cappadocians, the La Sombra, the Toreador, the Shmeshe, and the Ventru. While the low clans are the Assamites, the followers of Set, the Gangrel, the Malkavians, the Nosferatu, the Ravnos, and the Tremere. And another thing you'll want to pick in this game is your nature and demeanor. Your nature is pretty much what you are like on the inside, and your demeanor is what you show yourself as to the world. And there's a bunch of different things you can choose for both of those. And another thing you'll get to choose is in the regular vampire game, Vampire the Masquerade, characters have humanity. But in this, you get to pick a road that your character travels down that takes the place of humanity. And the roads are the beast, the road of heaven, the road of humanity, the road of kings, and the road of sin. And it tells you what kind of what kind of acts you'll have to commit in order to make a roll to lose dots in your road score. And that's pretty nifty. You'll then get 4 dots to split up amongst disciplines. And each clan has certain disciplines that are tied to them. And those are your clan disciplines. And they're cheaper to raise later on in the game. And your others are out-of-clan disciplines. They're more expensive. But you'll get 4 dots for disciplines in the start of the game. You'll then want to pick your backgrounds, and you get 5 dots for backgrounds. Then you have your virtues. And your road virtues will start with 1 dot in them, and your courage will start with 1 dot. And those are for free. Then you get 7 more dots to split up amongst your virtues. You'll then figure up your road rating, and your road rating is equal to your road virtues added up. Your courage, your willpower is equal to your courage, and then you'll get 15 freebie points. And there's a chart in here that tell you what each thing costs in freebie points. In the back of the book, there is a chapter devoted to merits and flaws, if you want to take any of those for your character. And of course, merits will cost you freebie points, and flaws will give you freebie points. So you'll want to pay attention to that. And that's pretty much character creation. And like I said, this book is pretty much Vampire the Masquerade, only set in the Dark Ages. And so there are some differences. And it goes into that in the book. It talks about how princes war with each other, how difficult it is to travel anywhere, because it's kind of hard to get from one city to another when you're either having to go by foot or horse and carriage. And horses are a little bit shaky around vampires, if you know what I mean. But anyway, it talks about people's attitudes towards vampires. And it's all in all pretty neat. There's a chapter here devoted to other creatures you might run into, such as werewolves, mages, fae, and demons. There is a bestiary in here of weird animals that your character might run across. And I mean, it's nothing exotic like dragons or anything like that, but it's stuff that horrors that have been brought up from hell and where have you, and things created from Shmei and just weird stuff, homunculi and what have you. And it's pretty dark. It's a pretty nifty game. I've run it quite a bit, and I played a little bit. And let me tell you, there's nothing like being in a building trying to bar the door from villagers trying to slay you while the sun comes up, for them to just give up and then set the building on fire, and you trying to figure out how to get out without burning in the sunlight. So you burn in the building, burn in the daylight, your choice. It's pretty neat. But it explains how it all works in here for the Dark Ages. And I mean, you could use your Vampire the Masquerade game and just set it in this time period, but this book lays it all out for you. It uses the standard rules for the White Wolf system. You add your dots with an attribute and a skill in order to perform a task, and that tells you how many dice you'll roll, how many 10-sided dice you'll roll, and difficulty usually is about 6 or greater, sometimes less depending on how the game master feels. And for each die that rolls your target number or better, you succeed. That counts as a success. And some actions will require multiple successes, especially extended actions. However, if you roll a 1 on a die, then you remove that 1 and a success from another die. If there are any ones left over and no successes, that's considered a botch, and something bad will happen. Game Master's choice, usually. And that's pretty much standard for all White Wolf games. And that's pretty much all you need to know. It goes through the time period, like I said, telling you how vampires interact with each other, telling you how the princes interact with each other over distances, and how they go to war with each other. The front and back cover of the book has a map of Europe, so you can plot things out if you want. There's a blank character sheet in the back, but unlike a lot of White Wolf games, there's no adventure, laid out adventure to get you started in the book, which is kind of weird. But this brings me to 3 questions. Would I play a character in this game? Not these days. I'm pretty much done with the old World of Darkness, but that's just me. Would I run this game again? I've kind of moved on from the old World of Darkness, gone to other places, so I wouldn't. Would I recommend this game? And against how I feel about the game personally, I would highly recommend it. If you're a fan of Vampire the Masquerade, this book would be a great change to do something different. You could actually run this game and have your vampires do things and stuff, and then run a modern day Vampire the Masquerade game, which tells the legends of your other game, or even move your characters from the Dark Ages game into the Masquerade game in the modern era, be it through torpor or some other means. It's pretty neat. I've run games kind of like that. And that's pretty much all I got to say for Dark Ages Vampire right now. Thank you for joining me at a look at this book, and hopefully you'll join me next time where we'll talk about something else. Bye.